we're back. Hopefully we will be finishing the inventory today. If not, that's okay, but we're going to try and get through the final bits and pieces. So let's open up pickup base. If you remember, we walk up to this item, we pick up 1 and we pick up 2. Even though they're the same item, they populate different slots. And what we want is for the item to populate 1 slot and the number 2 to come up. So to do this, we are going to pop into the pickup base, and instead of just adding the item to the inventory, we're going to add some more script. So grab that, move it down. We're going to grab a for each loop, grab the inventory, and plug that in there. Then we're going to break S inventory, drag off of item and get class down here. Then we're going to copy get class, get a reference to self. That reference is going to plug in here. Click on break S inventory, hide unconnected pins, and we're going to check if any of these are equal. Let's just plug this in up here into true. So basically, do we have any other items in this inventory that are the same class as what we're trying to pick up? If we do, we're going to add another boolean. That boolean is going to be duplicate found with a question mark. So if we do find something that's equal, we're going to drag duplicate found as a setter. We're going to set that to true. And once again, we're going to need even more space here. If we find a duplicate, we're going to let this boolean know that we found the said duplicate. Once we found that duplicate, let's grab this inventory item again, and we will expose the amount pin. We'll also get the array element itself. We're going to set members in S inventory. That member is going to be the amount. Once we've done that, we need to set array element, and that's going to attach to the index, which is going to get really messy. So the reason I'm plugging them in here is because I want to put these rewritables here. So we find the duplicate. We then, off of this, we'll get another rewritable, because why drag amount from here? We'll actually hide that. Why drag amount from here when we can break S inventory again? Just get amount. We'll put amount in here. We'll press hide there. We'll add that amount to that item in our inventory, and then we'll set the array element, and target array needs to be that inventory reference back here. So we'll plug that in. So that's our first check. Do we have any duplicates? If we do, just add said duplicate to the amount, and we're all good to go. If we don't find a duplicate, then we can assume that we don't have this item. So let's again make some more room here. Now, once we're here, we'll get duplicate found, drag off and type in not. Get a branch. So once this for each loop is completed, we will check if a duplicate was not found. If a duplicate was found, it'll pop off the false pin, but if it wasn't found, then we'll add the item to the inventory, like so. And then we'll continue doing all the stuff we did here. But even if we just add to the amount in the inventory, instead of adding it, we still need to set the visibility of the item and disable the input. So drag that false pin and plug that in there. So whichever way we go about it, we are firing off the end of the script. And if there was a cleaner way to do this, I will be sure to come back and do it. So false, I know it's a bit hard to see. We'll drag down this. False is connected to set visibility here. So just a quick revision. How many items have we got in the inventory? Is it less than our capacity? If it is, we'll move on. Now we'll check every item in the inventory, and we'll see if any of those items match the same class as the item that we're about to pick up. If they do, we'll let this boolean know, and we'll also add to the amount of that item instead of adding the item to the inventory. After that check's done, whether a duplicate is found or not, if it is found, we'll add the item and then continue with set visibility, disable input, clear interaction text, and set collision enabled. And if it isn't, then we will shoot off to that script instead of coming down here. And of course, don't forget, we don't just want to set the amount here. We actually need to give it a +1. So let's come here, drag off of here, hit plus integer plus integer, we'll add +1 here. Don't forget that, because otherwise it's just going to make the item disappear and we won't get two versions of it. Let's save that, hit play, walk over here, pick up item 1, item 2, press I on inventory, click on the inventory, and that says 2. I know, again, it's hard to see because I'm using a bad image there, but it's working. And if I was to use this item, it's going to go down to 1 as we set up that script last time. So that's all working. We'll come back to this as well. Let's pop into our hero and get rid of this troubleshooting script. We don't need this anymore because the item pops up in our inventory, so we don't need to use our event tick. However, what we will use the print string for right now is notifying the player that we've picked up an item. So at the end here, print string, we'll drag out, we'll go append, we'll drag in item information, we'll break it, we'll get that name. We're going to say picked up, then we'll put amount into B, add a pin. That pin will have a space in it, and then another pin for name. And that print string will come on, we'll make it 3 seconds. Just to notify us that we've picked something up. Compile, save, play. Print string works. Picked up 1 base pickup, picked up 1 base pickup. We're going to come back and do some more UI work to replace this, so don't worry about this at the moment. Now, 2 things about our little dilemma here. If I was to pick this up and then use the item, go to inventory, hit use, that little 1 still sticks around. The reason that happens, let's go down to user interface, inventory, and graph. When we remove that pickup, we're not actually affecting the amount. The amount stays the same. So over here, we add the amount, but we never subtract the amount. So if there's nothing in there, we're going to set the amount to 0 under here. The reason I didn't pick that up in my own project earlier is because of another thing I did, where if we go over to user interface, inventory slot, and we were to select the text here, I actually added a visibility node here. So the text would only pop up if there was more than 1. And this one's really easy. All we're going to do is select the text. On visibility, we're going to create a binding here. We'll name our function get amount viz. With that amount, we will get amount, which is right here. And if that amount is greater than 1, we will select a decision. 1. So if it's greater than 1, then it will be visible. If it's not greater than 1, then it will be false. So we've solved the problem 2 different ways there. We have set that inventory down to 0, but we've also set it so we don't have to see the number. So if we have 1 of one item, we're fine. And if we have 2 of an item, that's when we'll see the number pop up. So let's test that out. Press that. Press I on inventory. And you can see, even though it says 0, I know, again, bad image, that item no longer has its text there. But if I was to go back into the world, pick up this item, and press I again, and go to inventory, now the number 2 has appeared there. So that's all well and good. Now, finally, the exciting moment here is creating an actual item for us to use in our inventory, because these base pickups won't be used in the world. This is just a template for us to use. If you remember way back a few episodes ago, the way we're going to do this is go to pickups, compile and save everything. So we're all good. And right click on this base pickup, and we're going to create a child blueprint class. This is going to be pickup underscore, I'm going to call this Apple. And because we don't have any static meshes yet or any props, we're just going to click on this static mesh here, hit the drop down and go with a sphere. And then because we don't have a color here, I'll show you how to create simple colors. Let's pop down to, we don't have a materials folder yet, which is fine. So we will click on content, right click, new folder. We'll call this folder materials. Right click, new material. We'll call this M underscore red. Hold down 3 and click anywhere in the graph, and you will get this node here. This node is just a color value made of red, green, and blue. So for us, we'll hit 1, press enter. That'll come up red. Plug that into base color, and then save. And then when we go back, we can literally type in red and compile and save that. Now into the event graph, let's right click and type in use item. We're going to call this event. This event is going to override the event in base pickup. So what do we want this apple to do? Well, let's go and add some health. Over to our blueprints, and inside resources, we can have a look at the script for our health pack here. Rather than not let the player use the health pack unless they are low on health, we'll let the player use the apple if they want. So what we'll do is grab hero reference actual health plus 25 health max. We'll copy over health actual with those reroutables, copy that over and into pickup apple. Let's paste that down here and plug that in. We'll compile, and the hero reference isn't coming up because it's trying to refer to the other one. Let's right click, hero reference, get that reference hero because I named them the wrong way around. Of course I did. So we'll get rid of that. Whichever way you've got it around, try and stick to it. Make sure to plug that there. And now when we use the apple, it should add 25 points to our health. However, we won't see it because we are at max health. We'll have to damage ourselves first. Next up, let's go back to pickups and drag the apple in there because it's a really big apple. Go over to pickup apple again, into the viewport, select the sphere, and we'll drop down the scale to 0.25. We also need to fill in some other details here. If we go to class defaults, we can see the item information here. So here I will change the name to apple. The amount will be 1. It is a one-use item. Duplicate found isn't for us, that's for the inventory. And we'll select any image. I'm just going to select this image here. You can select whatever you want. You can also import images from elsewhere if need be. I'm going to compile and save that. Don't forget to get rid of the destroy actor script. We're not going to do that there. We're actually going to do it inside the inventory itself. So here is where we'll need to put in that destroy script. We'll just move over all of these guys. We're going to get that inventory reference. Copy inventory slot clicked. Going to get a reference. And with that reference, we'll break S inventory, get the item, and type in destroy actor. Because we need to destroy that before we do the rest of the script. And we certainly don't want to destroy it if we have more than one. We'll hide unconnected pins, plug in destroyed actor. While we're here, we can also get this amount from over here because we're already getting this getter here. So let's break S inventory, get that amount, move this back so we cannot have them overlap each other, hide connected pins. And that's much cleaner than from dragging all the way over there. We'll even put another reroutable here. So let's compile and save that over to the test map. I still have that H key tied up to destroy our health. So let's see if when we pick up the apple, inventory, use item, and back, our health is back up. So there it is. Our inventory item is working. There are a few other little bits and pieces we can fix up, but we'll probably do that in more of a cleanup episode. For now, all you need to do for your next inventory items is right click on pickup base and create those child blueprint classes, name them whatever you want, and then call the use item script here to do whatever you want there. But for now, this is the inventory pretty much complete. I'll see you guys in the next episode.